Hello and welcome to another episode of Moose's Gear Guru Review. So today I have a special video. This is a knife I've seen around for a long while. I always wanted to get my hands on one, and I finally did because the price was right. And that is the Spyderco Pingo, or Pingo. I don't know how you want to pronounce it. Pingo. But it is a really cool small EDC blade that actually fits some very strict knife laws, specifically the laws for Danish knife laws. So, as some of you might know, different cities, states, regions have different knife laws. European countries seem to have some of the more stricter knife laws, and specifically Danish knife laws seem to be some of the most strictest, but Spyderco went ahead and designed a knife that fit into those laws. So let's get into the knife and we'll talk about some of the features and why they were designed. But basically everything on the design was designed to fit within Danish knife laws. So first off, the knife is overall length is 5.8 inches. The blade length is 2.35 inches. The cutting edge is 2 inches. The blade thickness is 0.11 inches. The handle length is 3.45 inches. The handle thickness is 0.37 inches. And the overall weight for this small friction folder, or not friction folder, but slip joint knife is 1.9 ounces, so it's under 2 ounces, which makes it very easy to pocket. So that being said, looking at the knife, it has some really cool designs as far as like flow of curves in the handle, where it sweeps under and then sweeps out, kind of like an S curve. Besides that, the color is really attractive too on this knife, and the blade shape is unique, and it just looks really cool. It has a very unique look to it, and I like it a lot. So that being said, one of the knife laws, one of the Danish knife laws, that the knives can't come to a point, I believe. And so with that, we have this cool sheep's foot blade shape that has a continuous curve or belly on the blade. And then as well as that, it also is a flat ground blade. Yes, a flat ground blade, plain edge, satin finish. On the blade, we have Spyderco with N690 blade steel. And then on the other side, we have the designers of Vox Onzo design. And this was actually made in Maniago, Italy. There is the spider hole there. It isn't functional, so it's just there for design and look. So you know it's a Spyderco, as well as the Spyderco symbol there. The other cool thing with this knife, instead of having jimping on the top, it has some jimping right here on this curve. But I find it to actually be very effective if you want to bite up on the handle a little, just get that extra little bit of grip so that you can do some more finer carving. The other thing is it is a 90-degree spine, so any of you bushcrafters that live in stricter knife law areas, or you just want a folder that can throw sparks off a ferro rod, this is a great little blade, and it's very thick for how light and small it is. So, but it actually is very sharp, 90-degree spine, so it'll throw sparks really well. Moving into the handle, we have a 3 pins. They do take torque screws there, so you can remove the scales and clean this blade out. One continuous spacer, but that's actually the spring mechanism that holds in the slip joint. Other than that, there's no real liners, and the handle material is of an FRN, fiberglass reinforced nylon. So it's very plasticky feeling, has kind of a cloth texturing to it. And then we have the Spyderco logo on both sides of the scale that actually adds as the slip point where the pocket clip will make contact with the scale. As you can see, it's their excellent wire deep carry pocket clip, which I love, specifically on the Cat. I love it. It's definitely one of my favorite pocket clips, and it works really well with this type of knife for this capacity. Usually on some of the lighter knives under like 3 or 4 ounces. Anything over that, you want a more substantial pocket clip. That being said, I'll demonstrate the locking mechanisms on it. So it has no nail nicks, no spider hole to open it, so you do have to pinch the blade. They designed it to be a 2-hand opening as well as 2-hand close. Once again, when you open it, you feel a quick stop about 90 degrees, and then 180 fully deploys open. It has a very good lockup with that, and it does take some force at the tip of the blade to actually have that lock close. But even then, that'll kind of pinch your finger and prevent you from closing on yourself. But it is very strong. I like to do this double pinch and close here, but then you'll see it stops, a secondary stop, and then you finally have to push it beyond that to close it. So a really cool knife, really like it, but let's compare it to some other knives. So in the lineup, we'll have another Spyderco, and that is the Spyderco Roadie. Here, we'll line that up there and there. Then we'll also compare it to my favorite, though it is a bit dirty because I was using it at work right before this, and that is the Spyderco Cat. Then we will do the Camillus. I forgot the name of this one, but it's awesome. I think it's just the Mariner or something, or Sailor's Knife. And we'll throw in another one of my favorites, and that is the Buck Apex. So as you can see, they're all fairly comparable in size. Blade length-wise, the actual cutting edge is 2 inches, but the Roadie is just a hair short of that. Handle length-wise, though, I feel like just material-wise, it seems fairly similar. Even though this is a G10 and that's an FRN. It seems pretty similar to the Cat as well for blade length, but the cutting edge is a little bit larger and so on. It does have a thicker handle, more similar to the Cat, and lengthwise, though, the Apex and the Camillus are a little bit longer. So now, looking at the blade thickness compared to the Roadie, looks pretty similar, but I'll say they're about the same. To the Cat with the BD1 is a little bit thicker, blade stock wise, handle wise. It's a little thicker just because the blade stock's thicker. Here, the Pingo is thicker than the Camillus, and the Pingo is thicker than the Buck Apex. So that being said, the last test I have for it is the ugly brown glove test, which is everyone's favorite. Ugh. So just closing, 2-handed close. I will say the textured handle is enough to give me grip, though I wish it was a little bit more because I don't feel that faithful in it. If I try to grab the blade with the gloved hand, it is slick because there is no nail nick or divot for me to pinch with. But if I pinch hard enough, because it's flat ground, it wedges in there, and I am able to open it and deploy it. In the hand, I think it would be good if there's some jimping on top, though the jimping underneath does lock in pretty well. And this big curve here locks in my 2 main fingers, and then I get like a 3-finger grip. And it's in there actually really solid because that hook kind of hooks in there. So pretty impressive there. Once again, it is fairly strong, so you really have to pinch it, but it's doable. I wouldn't say it's the best with gloves. If I had 2 gloves, it'd be a little tricky, but it works enough. So does it pass? Yes, it does pass the ugly brown glove test. So there you have it, guys. This is the Spyderco Pingo in N690 bowler steel. Super cool, unique design. If you're traveling to more conservative knife areas, this is definitely one you might want to pick up. I believe they discontinued it at the time of this video, and you might be able to find it on sale for around 30 to 40 bucks If you do, definitely pick it up. Great knife for a great value. Other than that, please check out these other 2 videos here. Click that big round logo button. You can check out the eye in the upper right hand corner for other videos. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you outside. Thank you.